Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Silent Podcast, where we're going to be covering Survivor South Africa, episode 12. I am your host, Sasha Joseph, and I'm here with my co host, my podcast alliance, Jason. How are you?
Hey Sasha, I'm doing so well. I just got back from a great dinner at this new restaurant called Chappie's Diner, which has the Operation Destiny special with crabs and mussels and stolen rice. You've got to check it out next time you're
And
in Denver.
lots of meat and sugar, I hope.
Well, I'm gluten free, so I didn't eat any of the
Oh,
desserts they had,
that's
but you would
true.
love them.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait to check it out. I hope that you only had servers that were Speedos, maybe orange Speedos. I don't know. But what an episode. Chappies has lost it. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, this is what I mean when I say I want a revenge tour. I want like them to go wild. And he was like, this is for a Nesu, because we just kept getting like cuts to Inesu leaving. And like I was just like, I literally wrote in my notes, pain. Why do they keep showing this?
Because she is this eagle that's flying over Chappie's and motivating him. I
Yes.
loved this episode so much. I was so into it the whole time. I was impressed by Chappie's genius gameplay, taking risks, trying to outwit, outplay, and outlast everyone.
Hell yeah.
But I also just want to acknowledge throughout this episode, I love all these people. And we might criticize what they're doing or be critical of their perspectives, but we are here for them. These are the people we've been riding with all season. And I just want to give a shout out off the top to Warda. She played an incredible game. Even though it didn't work out in this episode, she got voted out. I loved what she brought to the season.
Oh my God, of course.
Episode after episode, talk about revenge tours. She's still trying to get revenge for Carla.
Yeah, and she's so mad at Chappie. She's like, don't let him win. No, that's exactly what I noted, where one, how beautiful it felt to just see people of color, being the like not numbers majority, I mean like power majority. Because again, I just have not seen stuff like this before, and it's so beautiful to see them, really like thrive and
Mhm.
live their best life. And of course, like like in some ways, because we love Santony and Chappies a lot, that we're just like we're invested in them too. But I was like, but Nanesu, she was the winner pick, so she deserves to stay, just as long as whatever as us.
Mhm.
So because of that, I feel very connected to all of them. And I was like, if Kieran wins tomorrow, I'll be so happy. And if Tyson wins, I'd be like, that's the perfect winner for this.
And I really thought Warda had a great chance to win. I thought if
Yes.
she got to the end with Kieran and Tyson, the three musketeers, I genuinely believe she could have beaten them because they
Mhm.
would have split the votes. And she is a great story. She was the underdog. She overcame adversity and
Yes.
she builds relationships with people. And not only does she cook the rice, she got rice for the tribe. And
Yeah.
we cannot forget
Oh my
about that. Angelina 2.0 is here.
Dude, that is so I'm telling you, I couldn't stop laughing. Like I was just like, what is happening with this rice? Like because so people, have been talking about this is an amazing like tribal council. So I'm thinking, oh, there's gonna be this advantage place and that advantage place, and this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen. I did not realize it would be centered on damn rice, which again, it makes sense because it's Survivor. Food is currency at this point, and it's very important. But like I could not stop laughing at it. And like Nico the principal, like it was so good. What an episode.
And what it reminded me of was, these people are OG Vunas.
Yes.
They have had a lot of drama related to food throughout the season. We think
Yes.
about Pinty, how they were able to turn the target onto her. We think about Paul stealing food. That got him voted out. And I really, in my heart, think Tyson and Warda thought if, Pinty and Paul got voted out because of this, we can put a target on Chappies for the same reason. Except it's day 30 now, not day 3 or day 6. The game has changed.
Exactly. And like it's more complicated. And also I want to, again, before we leave, like give a shout out to Santony. I almost called it Santony because we are the Stans. But like Santony, because again, I feel like Chappies was getting into real hot water, and she just like comes in as the savior and just was like, and her counterpoints are fire.
Spot
I
on.
just want to say, like, killing the game, girl. Like, obviously we knew she's great, but again, it's just this whole cast is amazing. Kieran being the freaking double agent, what the heck?
I have a
Oh my
lot to say
god.
about that when we get to it.
Yes. Of course. But yeah, so I just want to say an amazing episode, and like it's so refreshing to have all your faves be here and like now fighting each other. So cuz for me, I think like I can see myself switching back and forth, being like, "Oh, I like this group today. Okay, I
Mhm.
like this group today." So I'm very into it, and I can't believe only 7 people are left going into this episode. So now only 6 are going to be left going afterward, which is what the hell? It's moving so fast. Like we've
Mhm.
been doing this for 12 weeks. I cannot believe it. Um
Thank you, Survivor South Africa casting,
Seriously.
producers, for giving us such an incredible season to talk about now for the 12th week in a row.
Yeah,
We're here.
literally. Oh my god. But yes, so it starts with Chappies being like my closest ally was voted out, but something that looks like a curse might be a blessing. And he like goes into this like zen moment where he feels like if he feels like I'm in danger, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use that tribal council pass for myself. Like screw this. And I want to say real quick, Chappie's, which I know you and I talked about, Jason, his audition tape was going around viral with him and his damn cat. So funny. So I think like I was like, oh, where's the serious Chappie's? Like we just haven't seen him in that way. But here, like this like zen chilled out guy, like I was a little bit seeing hints of his video, but I like his video is really funny. Everyone, you should check it out.
Check
And
out
then
both of them
oh yeah, there's 2
from
exactly.
17 and 2020. They're worth
Yes,
the 6 minutes of your life.
exactly. And then Santony is pissed. So she is like, I'm obviously exaggerating my anger a little bit because I don't want to get looped in with the Nesu and Chappies. But I'm also obviously mad. And then Kieran, our genius, clocks it, Jason. He
Right
said,
away.
I'm not buying this shit.
I loved this interaction. So
Yes.
very rarely in Survivor history do we see them come back after eliminating someone and just like praise them and say how
Yeah.
Anesu was so great. This broke my heart. Santony, how are you not more upset? And I thought I got a big kick out of that. And she said, well, I'm down in my feelings. I don't want to talk about it. I'm upset.
Exactly. And you
And
guys are fake.
yeah. And Warda was not having it. And she's
Oh,
like, I just realized I played a better game than her. And that's why I'm still here.
yep, 100%. Also, it's really funny because Warda, I think Warda is correct. Don't get me wrong, where she's saying I needed to put my money where my mouth
Yeah.
was, and outplay her, which I appreciated. They like using the outplay outwit. We'll see later on. But I also it reminds Warda that she has a real life connection to Anesu. So and Anesu looks so happy to be there. So I don't think Inesu has like one, vengeful bone in her body, but about what happened. But I think Warda is also like, oh my God, I just voted out someone I knew. And then we get a this means war from Santony because she's like, I'm gonna write her name down out of principle. Me. Like that is me 100%. Like and this is how I think I'd get voted out because I'm so spiteful. But she's a queen and we're fine. And then this is the start, Jason. Please lead us through as our, resident foodie. I feel like
So
you need to talk us through this.
So everybody goes to sleep. And then once in the middle of the night, Chappies wakes up and he says, oh, it's time to eat. 4th meal. He gets his every other day extra scoop of rice, goes into the jungle, I think right next to the spy shack, steals the pot, makes rice, eats some of it, but hides the rest of it in his bag. He's going after that next day rice. It adds flavor. This was everything. I thought this was genius. The way he described it to us, that if I take a small amount every other day, no one will notice. They won't be onto me, and I will get the extra protein and nourishment that I need to win challenges.
Yep. And he said, isn't this outwit, outplay, outlast? What's up?
Then the next moment, we see the next morning, he's telling Warda, oh, it looks like we're running out of rice. I guess we're eating too much of it. To
Why did
totally
he
play it off,
say? Yeah, that
saying,
was
oh, and he was like bragging to us. She has no idea. And if she finds out, she is going to lose it at Tribal Council. And so
I'm
hearing,
out.
it was foreshadowing. I was just like living for that moment to pay off at the
Yes.
end of the episode.
Oh, 100%, which is why I loved all of this because again, he's like just to me, he's playing with house money, right? Because he has the tribal pass. So he's like, let me be a little loosey goosey here. And I really want to know from him how long he's been doing this because what the heck? And then again, I just don't understand, Jason. Why was he eating like not why? It's so disgusting to eat the bottom of your bag. Like, do you think he has
Yeah.
like no, right? They have maybe banana leaves or something that he like puts it on and then his clothes.
But you don't care. You know, eating something is better than eating nothing.
That's true. That's true.
The rice probably tastes better than the sand.
Yeah, I love that he's like, how do you count sand? How do you count rice? And I was like, well, ask Kian because our girl was picking it up one by one. Oh my god. But I loved it. And then Tyson, we get a cut to pretty quickly to Tyson, and he's talking about blindsides. And he said, why would you blindside the king of blindsides? Like, I'm not the one, because he's pretty pissed that his name is written down. And he's saying, now I want to vote Chappies out, or Santony, obviously. So Tyson is saying this, like either or. And he's talking with Anella and Kieran and saying, we gotta get Santony out ASAP because she got an idol.
I don't understand the strategy because if I feel they perceive Santony as a goat, they don't think she has a chance to win the game. So why are they getting rid of her? I would think they would want to take her farther in the game, and she could, like Sandra, Jedi mind trick them into taking her to the end and then beating them.
Yeah, so here's what I think the overarching theme is of this episode. It very much to me feels like it's a more morality, like for here's the principle of it. Like Santony even says it, right? I want to vote Ward out of principle. And then we get that from we get that from literally the whole tribal council.
That's a great point.
This is on principle. So I'm wondering if they're almost like at that point where everything is bothering them about everyone, and they're kind of just like, well, out of principle, Santony's got to go. She's a liar, because we've heard that now a lot of times. And I think they probably think the other side will give her the win because of that.
Yeah, I was impressed with the next conversation we saw when Chappies and Santony approached Nicole.
Yeah.
And they said, what happens? We both might be safe at this tribal council. Who are they going to vote for then? And really, I thought applying the pressure on Nicole, I thought they did a really good job of trying to persuade her, but it didn't work because we saw a moment after that. She goes right back to them. Santony's playing her idol. Chappie's playing the pass, like spilling all the beans. And I was just so disappointed that Nicole is playing showing all the cards. She needs to keep those things close to herself so she can make moves, and be more proactive than being reactive.
Exactly. And that's something we've seen, right, from Nicole. Like sometimes she knows the game, but I think like the intricacies don't like sometimes get lost with her. And then Chappie talks to Santony saying, okay, we need to win immunity, and then here's our plan, and then we'll give Anella the tribal pass, and all this stuff, blah blah blah. And then Santony's like, we gotta get Warda out. I'm over her. She's the head of the snake, blah blah blah, which I think they're actually very wrong, and I still think they did not make the right decision with Warda.
I agree.
Yeah. And then I think they could have lasted another week, and so I'm very stressed about Chappies and Santony. And then Santony's like, this damn fire idol. I got this fire idol. Can you teach me how to make fire? It's not the most useful, but it's nice to have.
I was really nervous hearing Santony say this and bringing up the fire making challenge, which makes me think we're going to see it happen in the next episode. I hope not. And I would love to see a scene of Chappies teaching Santony how to make a fire. We saw a scene like that a few years ago in Ghost Island when Wendell was coaching Laurel how to make a fire, because of their tight bond, and I would love to see that with Chappies and Santony.
Yes, very much that. And here's the thing though, because and I know maybe we'll talk about it later, but Nicole's gonna win it. And we know that next week is the last week to play all your advantages. Say a prayer, everyone. Is gonna be advantage getting. And yeah, so and that's like the end of it, end of like the first thing. And then we get to the auction. I am so excited for this. I've been asking for auction since forever. I don't know about you, but I go back on YouTube and look at like other Survivor auctions because they're so fun to watch.
I love the Survivor auction. I was so happy to see it come back with the fake money of the Nickos getting to play named after the host. Yes. I hope Survivor US brings it back and calls them the Probsties. That I think would be really funny.
Sounds like like some award. Like I won a Probstie. For 2.5 Men. No, I'm just kidding. And then but Santony's obviously very pissed. She's like, I only got half the money, man. This is like really stressful for me. And then but whatever. I think they each get 500 Nikos, and then Santony's like sharing with everyone that she's about to lose her money. No one cares. No one even reacted. And then Nicole is just like, I'm so happy. And I was like, Santony, girl, look at this. They don't care.
I was really impressed that Kieran said, my goal in this is to ensure that Chappies doesn't get an advantage. Sure, I want to eat, I want cake, I want sweets, but getting Chappies out will be even sweeter. And that just shows us that he not only is a big fan, he's making every right decision up to this point in the game and thinking about what's going to get him to the end. Because I thought Chappies would play that same game and wait for the advantage, but we quickly saw he was bidding on stuff. And Kieran stayed to his plan, which really I thought was great, even though it didn't work out with the outcome he hoped for.
No. I agree with you. I think, unfortunately, you have to play like Kieran, or actually, hell, you need to play like Nicole. What the heck was that, bro? Which I know we'll get into, but like, oh my God. So okay, let's just get into it. So everyone gets 500 Nikos, which is Survivor South Africa currency. Nico says, I didn't know about it, but I like it. And then, normal auction rules, ends at any time. This is new that you can't share. So, new as in, sorry, like sometimes you can share, sometimes you can't. It's very, I feel like, dependent on what production feels. So first item, it's letters from home. Straight sell, 50 Nikos. That's it. Santony's like, damn it. I told my family I wouldn't do this, but here I am. I'm going to take it. And then, Jason, what do you feel about our second friend that takes it, Anella?
I thought it was the right decision for him. He is also, I think, feeling like he's playing with house money. He just made a big move. He feels he's safe no matter what. He already thinks Chappies is going to do something to save him, I think, if they know about the pass. And he just doesn't really care about about winning advantages or getting things in challenges. He just wants to eat and reconnect with his family.
Yeah, which is funny because he already has a note. That's why I thought it was interesting that he would just put his money toward food, because I agree with you that he needs to put his money toward food. He needs it. That's why I was surprised that he put it towards a letter and not not anything else, basically. But he does end up, I think, getting other stuff, so it worked out for him.
I love that they sold the letters for a flat price, because letters from home actually broke the Survivor auction in Worlds Apart. So I thought I loved that irony. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but
yeah, exactly. And that's why, and I think it should only cost 50. Like, I think it's not fair. It's like, it's just too messy. Otherwise, I think I'm like lenient with it. And then the second item was pampering, champagne, a bubble bath. No one decides to get it. So I love Nico. He's like, great, sold to the host of Survivor South Africa. It's really funny. And no one takes it. And then third item, which obviously is the best item, I think, it's the beggar's plate. You can beg for any reward and people don't have to share, but like, who the fuck is gonna say no? Like, honestly.
Exactly. I thought this was a great thing to put in the auction. We don't usually see it. To me, it was something new. And I think Nicole played it really well.
Oh my God.
Throughout every single item.
Yep. And so this was covered, I believe. So so Nicole like didn't know what she was getting, but like thankfully for 100 Nikos, she made it out like a bandit. The third thing is a sugar feast, which I believe they did show. And Chappie's got it for 200, but Warda and Santini also bid. I don't know if I would bid on it, Jason. It's like too much sugar for me.
I agree. I would never bet on something like that because it's all sugar. It's no protein. It's no like electrolytes or vegetables or other things they might give out throughout the rest of the auction. This is just going to give you a sugar rush.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. And that's one I would want to share with people because again, I don't want to eat all of it. It's too much. And he does share with Nicole, and Nicole, oh, I forgot to say, is also in the tub because she's like, wait a minute. Can I get the bubble bath then? And Nico's like, yes. So I just love how Nico's just like yes to everything for Nicole. And then Santini's like, yes, this is great. Warda's like, it's fine, it's 10 days left.
And did you hear what Nico said back? Maybe
Yes,
there's
I
10
did.
days left for you.
There's not, people. There's
10
unfortunately
more days
not.
on the jury.
Yep. Where you'll get whatever you want, girl. And then Anella, there's a charcuterie board. I don't know what they
Mm-hmm.
called it. And that was 100 for an Anella. I think that's actually a really good one because it has a little
Yeah.
bit of cheese, meat, everything. So I think that's way better than just straight sweets. Then Tyson gets $100. Sorry, 100 Nico's fried fish, which again, Nicole is back with the begging.
But
Uh,
she only took the fries. She didn't take any of
yeah,
his fish.
thank God. That's smart. And then I think for Manella also she just took some cheese,
Mm-hmm.
which is I would for sure share that too, because cheese can also I feel like become a lot. And then the next item remains uncovered, and it's 250 to Tyson. But turns, and Nicole's like, it's chocolate cake. Nicole's dying. Give this woman some chocolate cake. She's like, if it's chocolate cake, we're having a feast, people. I'm so excited. Turns out it's and then I think it's an advantage.
An advantage in the next immunity
Yeah, in the
challenge.
next immunity challenge. Amazing. Um and then Kieran, what did you think about Kieran? Because the next one, it's covered, so we don't know what's going on. And for 250, Kieran gets you lost all your money, people.
I felt really bad for him. At least he got to stay at the auction and they didn't send him
Yes.
back to camp.
Yeah, that's
So
the
that was the one
worst.
benefit. He chose to give his money to Warda, which we'll hear
Yes.
later on. Santini was not happy because she lost half her money, in case you didn't remember. And Kieran chose to give the money to someone else.
Yep. Exactly. Oh my god. It was just that was a big, big bummer. And then Warda gets burgers for 250 or rice for the tribe. Wink wink. She says, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, when Warda was approaching the podium, on the second time, so on the rewatch, I noticed Chappie's kind of doing something with the sugar, and his hand went under the table and then came back up, and he had a little smirk on his face. So I think in that moment is when he took the sugar. The few crumbs that fell into his shirt, weighed into his right pocket, were in that moment when Warda approached the podium. And instantly, Warda's like, give me rice for the tribe. No questions
Oh my
asked.
god. While Chappies is stealing.
I could be wrong. It might have happened when Kieran went up there, but it was right around then.
Wow. No, it could have been like little by little. Like we know
Oh, he could have been doing it ongoing.
Yeah, because we know that that's what he does. So technically, I'm assuming the best time, right, is when you're walking. When I'm walking up to Nico, Nico's looking at me, right? He's not looking past me in that moment. So I think that is the best time.
And everyone's watching you walk up there to see
Yes.
what's under the basket.
Exactly. So to me that would make sense that that's the best time for Chappies to take it, but also very ballsy. Oh my god, because I thought he was gonna get a vote against him.
Oh, I didn't think that.
Yeah, because I was like, because it's pretty bad. Auction like is pretty sacred, and I think
Yeah.
like if you mess with anything with that, it's not good.
And when Warda said no to those 2 meat sandwiches, Nicole got both of them. How did that work out? Nico's like, oh, I'll eat my sandwich later on. Nicole, do you want some?
Yep, I'm telling you, it's a wild because Nicole, I mean, literally a beggar because Nicole's like, "Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it?" And Nico was like, "Yep, yes,
Of
yep, yep."
course.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god. And then the next thing was covered, and it was three, and Nicole gets it for 350. She has some food. She's smarter than this, and she gets an Immunity Island ticket. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called? What did you think of this? Where she can send herself or anyone else?
that was
Immunity.
incredible. That was
Yeah.
the advantage that Kieran was trying to play for.
I'm surprised Chappies didn't play for it. I think he was too busy smuggling everything.
I was so surprised that Chappie's bid so much money on those sweets in the second item. I really thought he was going to keep his money knowing he was on the block. Even with the council pass, he could have gotten another advantage.
But that he didn't. Oh, this is. I mean, I know I have so many feelings about this because to me, imagine winning this, sending Santony. You don't need to use anything else.
Yeah.
That's it. You're done. And I would never send anyone back because I would say I am voting for blank person. It doesn't matter. Pick whoever. I think it should have been Kieran. But thank God they didn't. So it should have been like, I'm voting for you, Kieran. Everyone else should vote with me because Santony and I, are free and you don't know what else we have because
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Or something, or like you did go through my bag and and hell no, don't use anything else. So that's what I think they did mess up at. And not that they would have gotten the Immunity Island pass, like that's hard. But I mean, besides that, I don't know that it was
the next item made me really happy that even though the auction ended, Kieran was able to still get his letter from home.
Yeah, which was really sweet because I thought he was on the reward, but he wasn't. So I'm really glad he got that, and he's been working overtime, so he
has.
deserves like his brain has been on nonstop. So I think he really deserves that. So I thank you, Nico, for being so kind. And Warda buys it for him, of course. And then did you hear this? Where Nico says, "Leave everything, including the cutlery."
I
I'm
did
like,
notice that.
damn, y'all not giving them nothing to work with.
I think he was nervous that someone might get hangry and use the cutlery to threaten someone else, as in knowing how mad they were against Chappies.
No, I just think it makes their life easier to eat.
Oh, of course, that.
Imagine Warda with a fork. I mean, like, Chappies,
you stole my rice.
Give the rice back. God damn it. So funny. Oh my god. But yeah, and then everyone says thank you, Warda. You're so generous. La la la. Santony said, "Hell no, Kieran. How dare you? Why didn't you give me the money? It's on, baby." Which I loved. And then Jason. Now it's time because how did they start going through his bag? That's what I need to know.
Somehow Tyson knew that Chappies kept a flint in his bag. That was the part that I didn't understand either, that Tyson just knew this. And when they started looking in his bag, they found not just one flint, but 2 flints.
Exactly. And not only that, so they're like, oh, so now this man has 2 flints. What a selfish person.
Yeah.
And then Arnella was like, no. Let's go through. And I thought they were going to find the rice and be like, this is effing weird. What the heck? And then they found the sweets, y'all. They found the sweets from the auctions at the bottom of the bag.
And I'm pretty sure in this moment we heard Warda yell, "That's against the rules."
Yes.
She was so unhappy with this.
She was pissed. She's not having it. Like it's a wrap for Chappies and Warda at this point. And then they also find Ornella, like freaking security, like TSA over here, is going through and he's like, "Oh, here's a tribal council pass. What the heck is this?" And then they start reading about it. Like no privacy at all. It's gone. Like Chappies' whole life is on display at this point.
Yeah, because they found the pass in his jacket pocket, which means they were unzipping and opening everything inside his bag, whether it was in plain sight or not.
Would you do that?
You would. Sometimes you have to do that, but it's also stretching the rules. Come on, Tyson. Come on, Warda. How clean is your game? Like, I'm just saying.
That was my biggest thing, which I know again we keep jumping because tribal was wild, but like yeah, to me it's like they literally like morality. No one has the moral high ground. Like, how did
No
you
way.
find all this? Oh, I looked through his bag. I looked through his jacket. So that's not cool either, people. So like, not no one is
Mm-hmm.
correct. Like, and Nico I know says this, but like it's I was gobsmacked at how much they were going through. And I think usually it's like one person is going through the bag and he'll share with everyone. But like to me, it felt very much like everyone together
And
like
I was just expecting
attacking.
them to dump his bag upside down and
Yes,
shake everything out,
exactly.
which would have been easier instead of having Anella go digging in every pocket looking for what was there. Because that
And the
probably took longer.
time.
The
That's
time,
oh
yeah.
my god, exactly. Because couldn't Chappies have come back at any time? That's another thing I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
understand.
Well, I thought while that was happening, Santony and Chappies were having that conversation with Nicole. So maybe Nicole was the bait to get them away from camp so
Oh,
they could search his bag.
that makes sense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It needed to be something because that's bizarre. And then Nicole comes back first and kind of talks to them. Yeah, because to me, this is bizarro. I was like, Santony is smarter than this. Like, she doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
leave camp like that. So what's going on? Or they were filming confessionals, and they
Yeah.
probably know how long confessionals are, or bathroom breaks. Who knows? But either way, Warda is like, look at this. One is gonna play the pass, one will be immune. So what do you think is gonna happen? Um, and then Nicole is now right, goes back to Kieran and says, let's get into Santony's head, and make sure she doesn't play the idol. Sorry, no, Warda says that to Nicole, and then Nicole is like now going to do the job, rather, I should
I
say.
actually thought it was Kieran's idea to try to
Oh
like
yeah,
dupe
maybe I took
Santony
the
and
wrong
be the
note.
double
Yeah.
agent because
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that was the first decision that I think Kieran made like off track this entire game. Because when
Yeah.
he said, I'm gonna like infiltrate Santony and Chappies and make them trust me, I was thinking like you've been against them the whole game. Why how stupid are you to think they're gonna trust you? And we saw throughout this episode, he was so confident that his
Yeah.
one conversation with them got them on his side. And I think it's because he was depleted. He didn't get the food, the energy, the nutrients from the auction. And he was just kind of all over the place, scatterbrained because he'd been thinking too much and driving the strategy for his alliance for so long.
Yep.
It caught up to him. But he survived tribal, so he's there another day.
Yep. And the ball is still in their favor.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so. And yeah, that's exactly what I found interesting, I will say, because I was like, Kieran, like, you have not given her anything. Like, the audacity to have, her feel like, oh, like, for her to be so desperate to want to work with you. Like, that's weird to me.
And they're down in the numbers 2-4. Why wouldn't she play her idol?
Yeah, it like makes absolutely no sense. And like it gave very like Mean Girls moment where it's like, oh, if we give her just enough attention, it'll be fine. Yeah, I just think Kieran's smarter than that. Like we've seen him do better than that. And then Tyson is also very pissed because Tyson's like he's protected by all his little tools. It's like, so were you? What the heck? That's how y'all got the majority. But it's okay, Tyson. You are correct in feeling frustrated because things for once aren't going your way, and they want to really play on the fact that hey, you already messed up once, Anthony, on playing the idol, which is smart. But like, come on. Like if you're gonna use a reason, that's a good one.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
all
definitely.
I mean. Yeah. And then Chappies is now eating the sweets. He's making rice again. Before dinner, he's called Chappies Diner. Everyone.
Yeah.
He's having seafood, onions, rice. I literally have wow written like 5 times because I was like, this is a feast.
And he said, Anesu, this is for you.
It's like, no, it's for your stomach.
I was impressed that he acknowledged the sweets did not fill me up. I need protein. I need carbohydrates. And I think he actually went and caught mussels and caught crab while everyone else is sleeping.
Yeah, okay, great. Because that was gonna be my next question. Because I have not seen there be a crab trap,
No.
or like something where he's like, oh, let me just like get the crabs. Like there was a good amount of stuff in there. So I feel like that is all him going to the sea Aquaman style, getting it for himself.
And how far must he have been from the camp for no one to hear this, no one to see the fire, to smell the fire, to hear him like giggling, eating all this food? Because he was like
Yes.
overjoyed, overcome with joy.
And production is probably being pretty loud. Like I don't think production is like quiet necessarily.
And it also
This
made me
dark.
think, seeing these nighttime shenanigans, if he's doing stuff at night, why isn't he looking for an idol at
Idol.
night?
Yep,
If everyone
I
else is
thought it.
sleeping,
I saw that and I immediately was like, "Oh, we're gonna get an idol," and it's Chappie's cooking.
Chappie's Diner, I gave him a 5-star Yelp review tonight. I would highly recommend to everyone to go there when they're in South Africa.
Please, Chappie's, I hope you start one, and it only serves seafood, onions, rice, and mussels. Please,
Well, you can
only
make a
that.
lot of dishes out of those
Oh
items.
my god, yeah, that's like base of a lot of like he's good. And anyway, yeah, and then he believes this will help him win immunity. Foreshadowing, ooh, and then last thing, before immunity, it's morning now. Thieves. The thing about thieves is you might be thieving, but you gonna get sloppy sometimes. And then Kieran cut your way.
He got so sloppy, he was so overconfident on this sugar rush that instead of cleaning up his pots, his mess, returning stuff where he took them, he decided to work out and do squats on the beach 100 feet away from the scene of the crime, letting everyone else find it on their own. Still working out.
Yeah, and he's like, well, they were like, did you eat it? No, did you? So Chappie's got it. And then they were like, he stole the pot too.
And Kieran said, Warden knows her kitchen. She'll notice her pot was stolen.
I was just dying at this. I literally could not stop laughing. And Tyson is so mad.
Yeah.
You know that like Tyson seems like that person that I would really be afraid of because he's so like straight faced when he's mad. So he'll be like, "Oh, so you've been stealing?" Like I was like, "Oh my god, Tyson, don't be mad at me." Oh, that was wild.
I also loved in this conversation when Anella was talking about, well, he didn't share the sweets with us. He didn't share that stuff with us.
Anella! That's all Anella. Anella's like, damn it, why I didn't think of this.
Yeah, he's just hungry. We've seen him steal food this season at the protein bar, so he's like probably jealous he didn't think of this idea first.
Exactly. This like a long way. Do you think other people are gonna do this?
100% yes.
Right. And I don't see them getting caught like that. If you're doing it the right way, I just can't imagine. Unless there's like a stick in the rice that you mark and then every day, that's what I would do.
I just think you have to clean up after yourself. Because we actually like saw this stealing rice at night move in Survivor Australia.
Okay.
In Champions vs. Contenders, when King of the Jungle Luke Toki did this to build an alliance with Dirty Harry and Baden. He like woke them up in the middle of the night to be like, come talk to me. And Luke had already been doing this. Wow. And he used it as a tool to build trust. And so I'm really surprised Chappie's did not try that. Because Chappie's is a fan. He knows the game.
But that's what I wonder because I don't know who the hell
but who would
build.
Yeah. And who would say yes? They would all rat him out.
Except Santony, but like he already has her, no offense. So
and it would be too noticeable if they were both gone for an extended period of time at night.
Exactly. So that I just couldn't help but giggle. So maybe that's where he got the idea from. And it looks like I hope that this keeps happening because it's genius. I'm a very light sleeper, so I really wonder if I would catch people at night. Because I don't think I could. I don't think I would sleep on Survivor. Or maybe you're so exhausted that somehow it happens. I don't know.
By like the 5th or 6th night, you'll be sleeping because of the exhaustion.
Yeah. After losing challenge after challenge, because I probably would be so exhausted. And then I think that's like it. Anything else about this moment? Because I know it's gonna come up again. But
I just thought it was interesting how Kieran was talking about Tyson needs to win this challenge.
Yeah,
he has an advantage. He's athletic, and he can beat Chappie's sugar high.
Tyson said, "I need muscles." Tyson's so funny to me. I just want to be his friend.
Yeah.
Because he's so opposite of me. But yeah, okay, so now we get to immunity time. It's only 3 people can make it to the final. Which we saw. I know I remember last seeing this version at Winners at War.
Yeah.
And anyway, so basically, yeah, it's like an elimination challenge. So each round, like a small, it'll get smaller and smaller until only 3 people are competing to the end. And remember that Nicole has won the past immunity island. So if she wins immunity, she can maybe give it to someone else.
Hmm.
And if she doesn't win immunity, she can send herself to Immunity Island.
What did you
Uh,
think of
yeah.
Nico's banter before the challenge started?
Oh my god, I was like, literally, I was like, do I take notes on this? Because he was on one in a good way again. Like he was just living his life. He's like messing with them.
I noticed something was up with Chappie's because Nico asked him, like, are you going to have a sugar crash? And Chappie's responded, well, the only thing I'm going to crush is this challenge.
Yeah.
And I was like, did he hear Nico? Like, has he been partying? What has he been doing? And
He's
then he was,
probably like, when you're so high off your own supply, literally, where you're just like wilding. You're just like, you have
yeah,
no idea what the fuck is going on. To me, that's what Chappie's was. He was like on another
the whole
planet.
challenge. And the look on his face, it was like wild. And then Nico, said to Tyson, how are you feeling about this challenge? You have an advantage. There's no water.
It did not matter. It literally, Chappie's was like, wink, wink, girl, I got it. It was like, that was Chappie's to me. I freaking loved it. And then, yeah,
So
so
now the
that's
challenge
like,
starts.
yeah. Oh, and then Tyson's advantage is that he can only he not only start he can start at number 2, round number
Number 2.
2, and he gets to skip number 1, which Natalie, right, got that
Yeah.
as well from Winners at War. So over at what the heck what was
On
it
the
called?
edge.
On the edge. I was like, oh yeah, Edge of I'm dumb. But I was like, a redemption? No. Anyway, so yeah, so Tyson is cheering on everyone but Chappie's and Santony, but she shouldn't use her idol. And then the first part, see, it's very much the challenge where because the one in elimination in the show, the challenge where they have to constantly throw themselves over and under and over. We've seen that, especially Challenge All Stars. We just saw
Yeah.
that. And then, so anyway, Anella's first, Chappie is next, of course, and then there's 2 spots left. And I'm getting pissed. I was like, really? The women just are going to get voted out immediately. And then Warda, thankfully, is next, though. So she comes in third. And then Kieran is next as well. So now we have Anella, Chappie's, Kieran, Warda, and Tyson as 5 going through round 2. So Santony was close, but
she did really well in this, I thought.
Mm-hmm. And Nicole was farther than her. But I also want to say, when you have like that, oh, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna get immunity. I island, like I think that like edge almost is taken away because I feel like she could have done way better than what she did. And then
especially
of course,
after eating all that food.
Oh yeah, exactly. But only one woman makes it through, unfortunately. Second round, I was stressed. I thought Chappie's gone because I was like, oh my god, he's losing. Because he starts quickly, but then gets tied up. And then Tyson makes it through first, which I thought Chappie's had the advantage. Everyone else but Tyson had the advantage because they, just did it.
They
But
knew the
maybe
course.
not.
They were more familiar
exactly.
with it.
Yeah, but nope. Tyson is just as quick, and he's first. Chappie second, and Nella's third. Unfortunately, where they got to go, Kieran got to go, and then this mage was huge.
Yeah, it was like looked to be like 12 to 15 feet high,
Yeah.
12, 15 feet long. It probably took 20 to 30 minutes for them to get to the other side of it.
Oh my god, Chappie's is like like grunting and breathing so heavy. But he's like moving pretty fast. He's also, I think, so much taller than the other 2. So I think that also really helps him. But Tyson is skinnier, and I think that's why Tyson was making it through
Mhm.
faster.
Yeah, I also thought Chappie's height would give him an advantage in part
Mm-hmm.
3 because of the elevated cage they were trying to get through.
Exactly.
And he
Yeah,
could,
and I think
use his arms to pull himself up and over.
yeah,
But
and having to like monkey like on monkey bars basically.
but the whole third leg of this challenge, I got up off my couch. I was so nervous, cheering for Chappie's to win, and it
Oh my
happened.
god.
He
Yeah.
got through. He got stuck at the end a little, but he didn't
The
let that
edit,
stop
I
him.
was stressed. I was like, "Oh, Chappie's was ahead, but maybe he's gonna come in second, and he's gonna be so close, and it's not gonna work, everyone, and that's gonna be really sad. But we will be fine, I guess. But no, Chappie's wins immunity because he heard the voice like an eagle on his back. It was a Nesu saying, "You gotta win it for me."
And how do you think Santony is feeling hearing Chappies give all this love to Anesu? Because he said again in the end of this challenge, this one is for Anesu. And I just think Santony would feel a little like left out because I
Yeah.
thought they were a tight duo.
So I made that note. Yeah, I made that note. I literally wrote, when did Anesu and Chappies get so close? But then, and yeah, and is Santony jealous? But if you see, at jury, when jury comes, like Santony, when Chappies was talking, Santony was like to Anesu, kind of look
Yeah,
over and smile. So I think like they're together at this point. Like Operation Destiny kind of brought the three of them.
for sure.
Like that is what I think at
Yeah, and
least.
I think Anesu and Chappies got really close on Vuna 3.0.
Yes, yes. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that. And then they were obviously paired together
Yeah.
for that piece. So yeah, so I just thought it was really fun. I'm so glad Chappie's won. I wish Santony would win, but it's okay. And then Immunity Island, Nicole of course sends herself.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, oh 100%. And she says she's never been, which is wild. And then and she, wants to be safe, rightfully so. I don't think anyone would have voted you out. And then, she said, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna, get up and go kind of gal. Um, I mean, yeah, I would hope you play. And then I want to know from you, how do you feel about this challenge?
It was really easy. We have seen it before, so I
Oh,
was
okay.
familiar with this counting
Got it,
challenge.
got it,
Why
got
didn't
it.
they let Santony do this?
Oh my god, why
That's
did
what I
my
wanna
notes
know.
said that? I said my note said maybe they thought Santony would come back.
Because I think Santony could have won this challenge, and I also think Nicole could have won last week's challenge.
Exactly.
And it just
I
kind of
agree.
aggravated me a little.
No, I was just really frustrated. I was like, Nicole's winning the fire idol, period. Like, there's absolutely no way. And here's my question for you. Is it because after this, was it a tribal that Nico says, not this tribal, next week's tribal, that Nico's going to say, this is the last tribal, you can play anything? Because if so, I think they were like, the fire idol needs to be used. And we
Yes
won
and
it.
yes.
Okay.
They
So then
definitely
that
want to
makes
see it get played.
Got it. Yeah. Because I was worried that if Nico tells them at the start of the episode, then it makes sense why this is the last time
Mhm.
they're at immunity, but maybe this is the second to last time and the next one will be like just a straight up immunity idol or something.
Oh.
That's the only thing I can think of. Cause yeah, I also made the note. I was like, why did it was a gimme? Cause she had time left.
Which is like the first time we've ever seen that not come down to the wire.
Exactly. And I found it very like boring where I was just like time is the only issue here. There's nothing else. Like if you maybe are dyslexic with numbers.
Yeah, I think we saw this challenge in Survivor Cagayan and like one of the first few challenges where the brains, bronze, and beauty got to pick which like puzzles they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And one of them picked this, and like the 100. Do you want to pick an 8-piece puzzle, a 20-piece puzzle, or a 100-piece puzzle? And I think one of them picked like the brains. I think picked the 100-piece. So like, oh, we can do this. And then it was the easiest one out of the group.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they easily got it.
Yeah. I know. And yeah, that's exactly where I was like, and then sorry, this part really bothered me. Nicole said most people haven't won. And I was like, because they had actual challenges. It wasn't a kid's like number, like a Fisher Price game.
Or they just didn't tell her.
Yeah.
Because Anesu won.
Exactly. Oh yeah. And Santony won once.
Yeah,
With the really hard ring toss thing.
yeah.
So what the heck? But anyway, she wins a fire idol. She seems to be very excited about whoever, like we talked about last week, but whoever gets the top 2 votes has to make fire and then one of them goes home. I still like it. I think it's an interesting twist.
I'm actually really excited to see how it plays into effect next week because Santony and Chappies know about the fire idol and they can use that as like a ploy to get Nicole on their side.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping is like somehow they can get someone else to go against cuz I'm assuming it's going to be one of them going up against the fire idol. So I'm wondering if it's Santony versus someone
Yeah.
and not Chappies basically. Um yeah, because they're out of freaking all their advantages. I don't understand why they did this. Anyway, and then we're back at camp, where let the cannibalizing start, baby, because the 3 are trying to work together and trying to figure this out. And Santony still thinks Warda is the most dangerous, which is so couldn't be more wrong. But Warda is dangerous, but I think she tells you what she's feeling. That's why I don't think she's as dangerous as Kieran
Yeah,
and
she's much more
Tyson.
transparent.
Yes, exactly. And then Chappie says, "We're gonna break up the 3. It's time." And then Tyson is mad because 1, Chappie's a cheating. He has the flip, and 3, he's been stealing. How dare you?
And then after that, Tyson made a great observation where he said, if we need to keep Santony calm and on our side, this is not how we do it.
Yes, let's
And
break
he,
up.
he clocked the plan immediately that Kieran had hatched, that this is not what we should be doing.
Yep.
And I was happy to see him step up, lead his group, and say it in an encouraging way to be like, we have to stop talking right now and like adjust our gameplay to try this plan.
Because we know how she is. And like, and that's the good part, right? It's just Chappie's clocked it way before everyone else. And like I said, it's been paying out in dividends because if they would have just took a second and been like, this is the type of person Santony is, and if we give her the right attention, and like and I think Chappie's is not just doing it for a number, like he obviously truly cares about Santony, but I think maybe didn't start that way. And it's like, why can't they just like be nice? And I think she would weirdly actually vote with them.
But we get this amazing scene next where Kieran tells us he has this brilliant plan where he's going to play a double agent and they're going to buy it. They're going to believe I'm on their side and want to turn on my allies of the last 30 days. And he goes right up to Chappies and Santony. Oh, I'm with you. Warda and Nicole are so tight. Let's split them up.
Bless this mess, as we like to say, because what the actual F is going on? And at first I got afraid because we didn't get a confessional from Chappies and Santony, and they're over here being like, we want to vote Tyson out, like blah blah blah, and then after Tyson's out, the 3 of us will work together, and then the 3 of them will work together, and we'll be fine. So then I was like, okay, I think I'm back to like being like they lie.
And then we get that like smug confessional from Kieran where he's like, it bothers me so much to hear Santony moaning about other people because I know she's moaning about me.
And it's like, so are you, just literally moaning about her.
And when like I think to myself, when you approach someone to build an alliance with them and you have that internal baggage, it's going to be transparent. They're going to see through it. But he doesn't realize that because he goes right back to Tyson and Ward and says, they bought it. How are they so dumb? They think I'm with them, just like that in one conversation.
Yeah.
And I just burst out laughing when this was happening because I knew it wasn't going to like work.
Exactly. And then Anella, they also say, which I guess I thought they were lying, or I wish they were lying, because they were like, well, Anella, we're going to send him back to camp, like, kind of giving Kieran, right, a little bit of fodder. But I guess they wanted to give him like some truth so that maybe they can go back and be like, oh, we trust you or some shit.
But I think when this was happening is when Chappies went to go tanning. I think was when this conversation started, right?
Yes. Because now Kieran, Tyson, and Nella are kind of laughing about it, which disrespectful. And then Warda starts to work Santony.
This was everything. if we're blessing people's heart, we have got to include Warda in the circle because
Oh
she
my
was
God.
like all of a sudden smiling and being like, "Hey, Santony, how are you? What a great day to have a
That's like
conversation."
dragging her
Dragging.
to hell, being like, we can't trust you. Why are you not mad about Anesu leaving? Why aren't you sad? What,
And
you
when
don't
she
want to
says,
play your idol?
"Yeah, remember that time you flushed your idol and it didn't work? You should feel safe tonight. You have nothing to worry about, Santony."
Oh my word. These people are like, I'm again, it's like we've been saying this especially about Warda, where when you get power, like you get sloppy. And this is 100% that moment, unfortunately.
But
Um
it gave us the best moment ever after because
yeah,
Santony is like, "Oh, no problem, Morda," and went right over to Chappie's and just lost it. Like I think you and I have done in real life at multiple times and just like burst out laughing to debrief about conversations. And
literally.
I wrote in my notes, ha 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 ha. Like
Yeah,
Santony
I
tells Chappie, like
literally
they think I believe her. Like get out of here.
Yeah, and she's like, "They're so sure they're gonna blindside me." Well, in your face. Like, it literally says that. I could not stop laughing at this. I was like, "Oh my God." Because, like, sometimes you're, like, stressed because you can see the big picture, but sometimes they can't.
Mhm.
Derek X. So you're like, I'm stressed. I'm stressed about you. But oh my God. Xantony's like, get the hell out of here. These people really think they're gonna get me. You thought.
And I think that shows us how great of a game Santony really is playing.
Yep.
She was able to get not only Warda, but Kieran to think they duped her.
Yep.
She sold
Exactly.
she sold them what they or bought what they were selling, even though it was full of baloney, and they
Yeah.
believed it. And I just want to like shout out to her social game, her strategic game for pulling the wool over their eyes.
Yeah. And again, I don't think that's something I could do because I would be like, you stupid idiot. Like, no, you're not going to drag me. Like, I know you. But Santony did the 100% right thing. And then now we get to, we're getting close to tribal. Warda feels like it might be me, y'all. So, you know what? I bought rice for this tribe. So that means that I am going to take the rice with me to make sure that y'all don't vote me out. Because if you vote me out, the rice is going with me. And then, we thought Rainier's pointing behind the back was good. But I want y'all to know that this is what the hell did I just watch, bro? Because Chappie says, I am going to fill a bag with sand and then switch it with the rice.
This was a genius idea.
Oh,
Santony heard this. She went right over to Chappie's. This is what they're planning. Like, we cannot
yes.
let them steal the rice. Chappie's is like, no problem. Operation Destiny is still in effect.
Yep.
Where did he get that bag from that he put the sand in? That's my biggest question.
I mean, they must have all these rice bags, I'm sure, all around. Like, he's been stealing everything. So who the hell knows?
Another comment Warda made in this conversation was how they don't know how to portion anyways. So she's going to take a lot of their rice and then they'll be done in like 2 more days. And that just cracked me up.
Yeah, and be like, and then they'll starve and Survivor South Africa will be over.
I loved when they were in the shelter and Santony was having a conversation with Warda, distracting her, while Chappie's was right behind her, just like so stealthily sliding one bag out and putting one bag in, and no one noticed.
How? I don't understand how. That's actually ridiculous to me.
He
That
also won a cloak of invisibility in the auction, so he
I
just like
mean,
threw that on and nobody saw him.
and like noise canceling, like, movement, because what the heck? Wow. Chappie's, that was amazing to watch. And Santony too, but like Chappie's, like I said, I am not a stealthy person. So like I would fall, first of all, probably. The rice would go everywhere. Like that would be me, like comedy of error moment. But like Chappie said, nope, I'm gonna steal it. And you're not gonna take the rice away from me, ma'am. Oh
But
my God.
after this, and like right before we went to tribal, I was on the edge of my seat. I was so excited with all of the drama and hijinks in this episode. Like what can happen next? There's still like
Yep.
22 minutes left before we go to tribal.
Exactly. And then and Tyson, right, is like, I'm gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna snitch to the teacher. This is so bad. What are we gonna do? And then because Warda has been doing all this, blah blah blah. And then I love how Warda is like, if they blindside me, blah blah blah, you're gonna have no food and no cook. And somewhere Paul's ghost is like, turning over in his grave because he's like, girl.
Well, do you think Chappies is going to take over the cooking responsibilities and they might go to him like, well, you make all this food for yourself, like make it for the tribe?
I mean, that's what I would do. I think you should the best way to get someone that's like that's being a troublemaker is to like get them involved, right, with
Yeah.
you. So to me, that's what I would do. I'd be like, why don't you do it? Because you're gonna do it anyway. Not just be dragging, kind of like jokey way, but I would still like get my jabs in so that he knows I'm not happy with him.
I really want to see Santony make some of those jokes because I just love the relationship between the two of them, and she can say it in a serious but also joking way.
Yes.
And he'll actually listen. He won't listen to Kieran or Tyson if they tell him to start cooking.
So that's the thing. I'm very surprised that Santony didn't even say anything like, why didn't you share with me, Chappies? Or we didn't get a moment of that either. Like, even as a joke, like at Tribal especially, I wish I'm surprised, but I think they were so on guard at that point. So anyway, so we're at Tribal where Chappies immediately, thank God I won immunity. And it's for that girl over there. It's for Anesu.
And how great did Anesu look?
Oh my God.
Walking in that little jury hallway, thing they have. I was so impressed. The contestants were so impressed. And she even gave us some poses to Santony.
Yes.
And I just love that they're interacting with the jury a little bit, but not too much where it like interferes
where
with
it's
the
just
vote.
like fun, where it's like, this is the stuff you want because like y'all voted out all the fun people anyway. Oh, how dare you vote out Ernesto? I'm so mad. But yeah, exactly. So that's why it was really sweet. And then it's time. The gauntlet has been thrown because they said I won it for her. Oh, is that why you cheated, Chappies? Oh my God. Please walk us through this, Jason.
Well, Tyson also said, I want to give context because it's important for the jury pointing to all of them to know that
is zero.
He had sweets in the reward and he stole them. He broke the rules. I don't respect that gameplay. And Chappies went instantly on the defense, saying, well, I didn't really steal them. A few fell into my shirt. Maybe some fell into my pocket. I was just like eating the food.
Oh my God.
Tyson said, no, they were in your bag. He was so intense. I think
he
actually
said it's not a few, it was a whole layer. It's a whole layer. He just kept saying that over and over again.
And right after that, Warda interjects, well, what are the repercussions? This was a flagrant disregard for the rules, Nico. Like, punish Chappies.
I'm like, this is absurd. I was like, over some sweets. Like, they're grasping at straws because they know the two of them aren't going home.
Yeah. And I actually think this was the wrong move for them to try to impress the jury this way. Because I actually think
brought that up.
It made Tyson look worse to the jury.
Oh, no, the jury was laughing at them. Because I can't remember who said it, but someone was like, that's Warda for you. So they were kind of like annoyed by Warda. They were like, oh, yeah.
I think it might have been Sean.
He is definitely the one.
Because was it Chappies who then brought up the brie that they went to and how there was leftover meat?
Like, excuse me, I have something to say, please. Which I thought was so funny because he's like, well, if we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about this stuff and we're gonna talk about breaking the rules. Well, all of us stole meat. We stuffed that in our pocket, and I know that's not allowed. But we shared it. What's the problem? That it's not the same. You had it for yourself. We shared it. Very, very different. So, and then Santony, right? Because no, is Santony? Yeah. And then I think, then Santony was like, I also ate the meat. I'm at fault. Uh,
Well, because Warda also, was like pushing back at Chappie's because Chappie's like threw them under the bus. And she's like,
yes.
but you want to win it at all costs. You stole from us. I gave up. I got rice for the tribe and you stole it. And I wrote in my notes, like, okay, Angelina, like, why
Right.
do you keep reminding us that you gave this up for the tribe? Like, what was your motivation then? I know she did it in the
Exactly.
best of her heart, but the way it was coming off in tribal, it made her seem very like pretentious and that she wanted to be acknowledged and be saved because she used her fake money that are Nico's to buy rice for the tribe.
Yep. And she just like could not. And like it was such a big miscalculation because the jury are fans and
Yeah.
they want to see more of Chappie's behavior, unfortunately, than they want to see a moral high ground moment, if that makes sense. Where I think it's just like, they're like, that's cute, but like, do I care? Like that's not so like, sure, I want tea, and Chappie's is giving me tea right now.
Yeah, because then Tyson, came full steam ahead, saying how you have two flints in your bag. I'm pissed off. I've been playing this game like an emotionless robot, and I have emotions now. How dare you do this, Chappies?
Yep.
And Rainier had such a reaction on the jury bench.
Exactly. And it was also that he like literally was like, I'm not a robot anymore.
I just want to say
Can't stop
then,
laughing. Yeah.
Warda talks about the rice and how she did take the rice, but she did it to protect the rice for safekeeping so no one steals it.
Yep.
And Santony just like jumped right in. She's like, well, who's going to steal the rice at tribal council? And that's when like I was like, bring it, Santony. Keep like backing up your guy. And she said it like
He was
so
good. She
so
she
good.
told him, hold on, Chappies. Like, let me talk. Cause she's like, because Chappies was like very much, kind of saying the most basic stuff.
Yeah.
But I think Santony was like, no, 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 no.
And I put in my notes next, like Tyson started mansplaining to everyone else. Well, she didn't really take the rice. This was a test. Because you have sticky
Exactly.
fingers, and we wanted to see how sticky they were. And I just felt he was talking down so misogynistically to Santony, who was just like not even in the drama. Like this was a beef with Chappie,
Yeah.
and he was just bringing it to Santony's face.
Yeah, and I think like it's also that he was trying to have Warda's back and really like go
Yeah.
hard, but I think the problem is that Santony is not the one to go up against. So I just felt like he was so pissed off that he just like when you're so mad that like you just can't, you're just never gonna have the good rebuttals, and Santony is like calm, cool, and collected. So Santony is like, no, like this is not it. And then this is where the killer was, because Antony said, you don't want us to have the rice either. So what's the issue? Because it doesn't even, because to me it's like, stealing was against the rules, la la la. They're still yelling that, but she's like, but the point is you didn't want us to have it, right? That's what I heard. And then she said, no one was around when you said it. So why are you saying that you were trying to protect, us from Chappies when no one was around when you said it? So that's not true.
Also, in these conversations, I think we might have you might have missed this. I'm not sure if it's upcoming in your notes. They were referring to Chappies in these parts of the conversations as disgusting, as despicable, as pathetic. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, say what you want.
He
I have the
literally
necklace.
don't care. Yeah, he's like, how did I win the necklace? By doing all of this. So I sure did. It might bite him. I think it might loosen some jury votes if he makes it to the end. But either way, it was so funny because I think you get even more mad when like someone acts so aloof. Like I think if it was Chappies was more passionate, I think they would have calmed down. But because I think he was so calm and like not interacting, they were getting even more angry, I think.
Yeah,
about the whole thing.
I thought like the shot for the jugular came next by Warda. She's like, fine, just get to final two and you will get as many votes as Doral did last season. Spoiler alert, that's 0. This killed me. I paused the episode. I burst out laughing. And I'm like, I love it. Like their fans referencing past seasons.
Exactly. And
I'm
that's
so here for
what
it.
you want. And then Varda was like, you know what? I'm losing a little bit. So she said, Nico, I thought stealing was against the rule. You need to interject because I am tired. Oh my god. And then Nico says, okay, let me try to figure this out. So sugar was stolen. Then the meat was taken. Who did that? Then they say all of us. All of us did it. But we shared it with everyone. So what's the problem? So Nico says, okay, but you can't steal something. That's the rule. Well, I borrowed.
I
Chappie
borrowed
says.
it. It's still here. I didn't take it
Yeah,
that far.
exactly. So then Santony says, "What, Nico, I have a question. If someone wins something for the tribe, isn't it for the tribe and not for that one person?" This was
Anthony
it.
dropped the hammer on them.
It was done. There was no going for it. They should have dropped it here, I think, because I
Oh
think
yeah.
here it's a wrap. Like as soon as Nico said, "Yep, it's everyone's rice," bye. It's a wrap.
And he did not stop at Warda. He said, I said, do you want to win this for the tribe? You didn't win
Yes.
this for you. And he was like being both good cop and bad cop in the
Yeah.
tribal council. And I was really here for it.
I loved how Nico, because he felt like a principal, where he was literally like, "Huh, okay, yeah, okay, got it." Like the judge, principal, jury, all of it. And then I liked how Varda was like, "No, I was trying to bait him. I was trying to bait Chappies into stealing," which he did. And Santony was like, "Shut." So here's the thing: Varda could have said, "But I know you would go and tell Chappies. That's why."
Yeah.
So that was a missed opportunity, I will say. But again, I don't know that I would have been smart enough like Santony to been like, "Isn't it tribes rice?"
And I don't know if I made this up in my head or one of them actually said it, but they accused Warda of stealing the tribe's rice.
Yeah. Santony,
That did
I think, was
happen,
like,
right?
"When you steal it, technically you're stealing because it's our rice
Making
that
her
you
look,
won."
making the accuser of Warda look just as fault as Chappie's was, which really
Yes,
leveled the playing field.
exactly. And then Nico says, "All right, it's time for the verdict, people." I love how they didn't talk about any strategy, by the way, because they go to freaking voting after this. But Nico says everything is production like had this written out for this man, because the way he did
Oh
it, I
yeah.
was like, what the hell? Because he said everything is illegal. You stealing, whether you share or not, that's on you. But all of y'all are in the wrong. Oh my god, their face. Nicole is like, "No, but she wanted to, keep it. We know she was gonna give it back to us. There's no way. There's no." I was like, "Nicole, what the hell? They're trying to vote you out like 2 days ago." But Nicole's riding hard for Warda.
Which really surprised me.
I agree. Which is when I was like, "Oh, this is a lost cause." Got
But
it.
I loved when Nico was going to each of them like, "You're guilty, you're guilty, you're guilty," and to Chappie's he's like, Chappie's said, "You're 100% guilty," and Chappie's is like, "Oh, maybe one," or Nico said, "Sorry, maybe 110,"
110.
and Chappie's like, "Oh, maybe 150." Like I love that banter back and
Yeah.
forth between them. Because Chappie's had the necklace. He knew they couldn't write his name down. He could be 500,000% guilty, and he'd still be there tomorrow.
Yep. I'm sure he asked production, right? Chappie's like, "Can you tell
Oh
us?"
yeah.
Because I'm sure he was like, "Dude, can I well, how much trouble will I get into? Like, I just don't want to lose. Like, will I be here tomorrow?"
I was
Yes or
also
no?
so happy to hear Nico bring up, well, in the last immunity challenge, Chappie's didn't finish yet, so you all could eat more spaghetti. Was
What
that
about
against the
that?
rules? And I just wish they would have panned and zoomed to Tyson and Warda's faces.
Oh, Warda's face dropped.
I wanted to
she
see an
was like,
extended cut of it.
yeah, I want every single, like in Indian soap operas, they do this where they like waste time by going like, and then it's this person, then it's that person's face, and it's literally every single person. That's what I wanted to see, I will tell you, because again, production wrote this, because I forgot about the spaghetti, Jason.
Yeah.
There's no way. I think Santony and Chappies did too, because they
They should have brought it
remembered, they
up.
would have brought it up. That was amazing. That was it. That was the hammer. It was the winning rice, tribes rice, and then spaghetti. They didn't say anything. Warda then almost became like kind of cranky because she's like, "I just want my rice back," and Chappie's like, "Here you go."
I
Before
loved
she
that
even
play by
finished,
Chappies.
yes. He's like, "I don't want it." He was like, "I'm just the savior that didn't want you to leave with it." Which I loved it. I think she ended up looking very petty. Her and Tyson. Kieran didn't really speak much. I think he spoke a little bit, but not enough for like me to bring it up. And then their advantage get in happens. What are you feeling? Because now Anella is back at camp. Why?
I have no good answer. I was really surprised they chose to save him instead of letting him be there to watch this drama unfold.
Yes.
I feel it was like a grudge though, and they wanted the 5 voting members to be OG Vunas. And so Santini and Chappies could really get that revenge on the 3 of them.
Oh, I
For
didn't
things
see
that
that.
happened on like day 1, day 2, day 3.
No, that makes sense. To me, it had to be something like that because it's bizarre. Like, if you're using the idol, you don't need to use a tribal pass. It's an either or situation. So very miscalculated because you're still at the bottom next week. So not sure why they did. None of
Yeah.
it makes sense. Santini should have just gotten the tribal pass to go.
I completely agree with you. I was really
Yeah.
confused because they mentioned that strategy earlier in the episode that was an option they were considering. And I just feel they both wanted to be there to ensure they got the right vote.
Fine.
But they should have sent Santini back because they could use the idol at Final 6 because Chappies is probably going to win the next immunity challenge.
That's exactly it.
And then
If
they'd both
Chappies
be
wins
safe.
immunity, they would have both been safe, and then it would have been 3-2 instead of
4-2.
4-2, and maybe 4-1. Because what are you gonna do now? I think they're still in their mind banking on like the Chappie's winning immunity, sending Santini to But like,
And
come on,
And
you
Santini is the
can't.
idol whisperer, so she might be able to
Yeah.
wake up the next morning and find an idol.
It might be on her chest, just waiting. Production's like, here you go. Here, anyway, you're gonna find it. Yeah. So I think that was a huge miscalculation. I think they just wanted like an explosion, but I think it should have been a calculated, explosion. Where you again, you don't just live another day, but you live another 2 days, and this way the whole squad could have, made it longer.
The only thing that gives me hope that they made the right decision is that neither Santini nor Chappies has commented about this move at all. And so because they've been so radio silent about it, I think it actually might go into their advantage and their benefit moving on in the game. Because I think if it burned them, they might be like defending it more on social media. Like,
or
this
like
was the right
laughing at
move.
themselves. Being like, how dumb are we? Yeah, true. Okay, that's true. Maybe you're right. Hoping it's one of those.
And so did you notice, I'm not sure, this was after Ranella got sent back to camp. It might have been right before they voted or right after they voted.
Yeah.
But Kieran kind of like tapped Santini on the shoulder and like winked at her to reassure her not to play her idol.
Loser.
Like, this was terrible.
Because, according in their mind, they were like, there we go. Like, yes, we knew Anella was gonna get gone. So all I need now is Santini not to play her idol, and she's out. It's like, come on.
After the way that tribal went.
You really think she's not gonna play the idol? Foolish. You're gonna come out losing. You'll all losers because of it, unfortunately.
And during the vote, we did get, I think, the best voting confessional of the season so far, where everyone in South Africa heard Chappies yelling, Operation Destiny, this is for you, Anesu. And I loved it. Yeah.
And it was a wrap. Like, to me, I think they couldn't even do anything but vote. Like, Santini, because they were like, well, who else are we gonna vote? Not Nicole, unfortunately. So unfortunately, Santini, they look really stressed. They're back. Santini plays her idol, thankfully for herself. And then Santini, vote number 1, Santini does not count. Santini does not count. Santony does not count. And then Warda 1, Warda 2, goodbye.
And Warda gets up and walks by Santony, and she has the biggest eye roll I have ever seen in my life.
Exactly.
It was everything. I was so happy that Santony had that reaction for the jury to see. Because Warda had been bullying her and being mean to her.
Yeah, 100%.
For a while in this game.
Yep. And listen, don't cross her. Like, it's about time folks understand that. Because I will say, immediately, Warda said she was relieved because and then her after voting confessional said, like, she felt like it was her time to go. She just wasn't, like, her heart wasn't in it, which is really, like, sad and a bummer. Like, I hope she's okay. But also, it's really interesting because I think, why did they take out Warda? It makes no sense.
And
She's not a comp threat.
Tyson commented on that. He said, "Oh, no votes for me tonight."
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think they see Kieran as a threat, which is fine. But, like, I'm so surprised why Tyson wasn't taken out instead.
Because Tyson, I think, is the glue in that trio. He is equally close to Warda and Kieran. And so I think it would make the most sense to take him out as the middleman.
And I feel like Chappies and Santony know that Tyson, is like that. So I don't know. It was very weird, I will say. I really want to know more why they picked. I know why Santony picked Warda, but I want to know why Chappies picked maybe because he wanted to go along with his ally. But still, I don't think it's worth it. I think it was a waste of you needed to play only one advantage, not two. And then you didn't need to put Warda, you needed to put Tyson out. But unfortunately, here we are. Or Kieran out, but I just don't think they see Kieran. That's why I'm not counting Kieran. But it would have been weird. I don't want Kieran to go home, obviously. But, like, it would have been hilarious for Kieran to have this kind of fall where he was like, oh, Santony got me. Like, like, I have them. We're fine. And then they vote him out. That would have been funny.
That would have been legendary.
Yeah. But, it was not worth it because they can beat Warda.
Yeah.
Like, and you want people you can beat, Santony. Like, come on. And then, Warda says, good luck. Don't let Chappies wins.
Hold that grudge.
God. And then, next time on, we like the advantage, like, this is the last tribal to use the advantage. I think that's all we really got from it. And then, like, Chappies is not feeling so good. Don't know what that is gonna mean.
I think it's just because he got, like, verbally abused the last few days and has been made villainized in front of people that he, like, respects. And I think they're taking the game a lot more personal than he is.
I think he's, like, actually having fun a little bit. And I get it. Like, I think, again, he's playing with house money where if he has to get out, he's out, and, like, so what? I think that's where he is. So he's like, I should have been out 2 weeks ago, or whatever. I should have been first
at the merge.
Jury. Yeah, exactly. So I made it. So that means, I'm happy. And that's kind of sometimes what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bummer. But I'm so excited. I'm very scared for Chappies and Santony. But, like, if they get out, I'll be fine. Because Tyson and Kieran also deserve to win.
I completely agree. And I actually think Chappies has a strong probability of winning out. He literally could win the rest of the immunity challenges and get to final tribal.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm wondering now. Because and let's talk about your threat list too. Because I was thinking about who's going to win. Unfortunately, I am lower on Santony now. Just because I think if they had another advantage, she would have definitely made it, to next tribal, like, not this next not episode 13, but episode 14. I think she would have been around, but now I'm a little stressed because everything rides on Chappies winning immunity, basically, which is a bummer.
Yeah, that makes sense. I still am riding for a Santony Chappies final 2. I think if Chappies does win out, he will fall. If my math is correct, I'm not a math expert, 1 short of his goal of 7. He would get 6 immunity challenges.
Yeah, I wonder if that's why they shared it, because he, like, wins out a little. Who knows?
But I still have Santony number 1 just because, like, I'm a Santony, see it right there. I'm riding with her. And then I actually would be happy, like you said, with Chappies, Tyson, or Kieran all winning. I think it would be
Yeah.
remarkable if somehow Anella or Nicole got to the end and won. And I
I
could
can
find a
see
way to
Anella.
respect that.
Yeah. For sure. I hope Nicole doesn't. Like, no shade to her. It's just I hope
We've
she
seen,
doesn't win out of spite. That's what I'm stressed, is
yeah,
that everyone's so pissed at all the other ones that she ends up as a goat winning almost.
and we've just seen so much more gameplay from the other 6 people.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, for me, I do think Kieran and Tyson are like higher on my threat list to win the game. I'm really just like apprehensive about this like Santony making it, even though I want her to. I just think there's so much bad blood that like they will vote her out as soon as they can. So let's see what that is coming out next week. I mean, in a few days now,
Yeah,
thankfully. So with that, like anything else, Jason, for this episode?
no.
Great. Yeah, that's it for me too. So where can people find you, Jason?
You can find me on Twitter at TheRealJO, where I'm posting about reality TV. Obviously, both US shows, international shows, the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that dropped a few hours ago. It's incredible. I highly recommend everyone watching it. The real version, not the leaked trailer. And then
Oh
also
my
live
God.
tweeting a lot of Sasha's podcast that you're about to hear more about.
I appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. I have been around the RHAP like streets, I feel. Because yes, Geneva and I came out with Netflix party. I keep calling it party. It's not Netflix reality games.
Mm.
And we had like a one-off podcast talking about the 3 episodes of Love is Blind, The Circle, and Too Hot to Handle all coming together. It's a silly, fun podcast. Definitely watch it on YouTube. Watch the show on YouTube as well. It's like cute, it's silly. And then you can find me on Robin Akiva has a podcast as well. Anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I was on the Sunday episode of Big Brother. And the biggest thing, tomorrow or maybe Wednesday, my Love and Hip Hop or Hap Up will be out.
Woo!
I know so much juicy stuff we need to cover, and Asia will be on, who's an amazing podcaster as well. She does Married at First Sight, so excited to have that. That'll be out as well. In addition to Never Have I Ever, which I just shot before this. That's why I have the same outfit on. I'm not like I'm a clean person, and with Chappelle and Puya, actually we had lots of fun chatting about just the silliness of sleepovers. You know, did your parents let you? Because our parents didn't. And see, oh my God, this is so funny. And we'll have Jason on next week. So
Oh, yeah.
if you're hearing this on Apple, give us a review. We're at 10 5-star reviews. Give us more. If there are any fun ones for Survivor South Africa, we'll be sure to read it here live. So leave us that good, please. And download, stream, like, and subscribe our YouTube channel as well as our audio podcast. And follow us on Silent Podcast on Twitter for more reality content. Jason just did the challenge as well. So we will be back covering the challenge this week. I believe Friday, y'all are doing it.
Yeah, hopefully you can catch Carrie, Geneva, and I breaking down episode 3 of the challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies.
I love it. And it's really fun. Like, it's a silly season. It's fun. A lot of wild characters I feel like are on there. So yeah, follow us everywhere for more reality TV and scripted content. And with that, thank you so much for listening.